Jesus came down with the 12 and stood on a stretch of level ground with a great crowd of his disciples and a large number of the people from all Judea and Jerusalem and the coastal region of Tyre and Sidon. And raising his eyes toward his disciples, he said, "Blessed are you who are poor, for the kingdom of heaven is yours. Blessed are you who are hungry, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are you who are now weeping, for you will laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you, and when they exclude and insult you, and denounce your name as evil on account of the Son of Man. Rejoice and leap for joy on that day. Behold, your reward will be great in heaven, for their ancestors treated the prophets in the same way. But woe to you who are rich, for you have received your consolation. Woe to you who are filled now, for you will be hungry. Woe to you who laugh now, for you will grieve and weep. Woe to you when all speak well of you, for their ancestors treated the false prophets in this way." My brothers and sisters, the gospel, the good news of our salvation.
Praise you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Through the words of the gospel, may our sins be blotted out.
Amen.
What does it mean to be blessed? Every time when I read the Beatitudes, I'm struck with something different. And as I was studying this morning, two things came to mind. Three things, really. First of all, when you look up the word blessed, you can look in 10 different dictionaries and get 20 different answers, because it is a very meaningful word in our language. We may say that we bless God, which is like saying that we praise God. We might say that we are blessed this day. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but now I hear it all the time. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm fine, chaplain. Thank you. I'm blessed. What does that mean? What was Jesus meaning when he said, "Blessed are those who are hungry"? What was Jeremiah meaning when he talked about the blessed tree that reaches out its roots and finds the stream? I think our answer, one of the many answers that blessed has to it, is that blessed means that we are aware. I want to look back, and I meant to bring the Bible that I study out of, and I walked out of the house and forgot it, but the reading in Jeremiah caught me, and I'm hoping this is a similar translation. "Cursed are those who trust in human ways and rely on things of the flesh, whose heart turns away from God. They are like a bush in the desert with no hope for the future. It stands in stony washes in the wilderness, an uninhibited land of salt." In the translation that I study, Jeremiah says, because they cannot see the water, they can't find it, in the translation that I use. And I thought, there you go, that's what blessed means. I remember when I was 17 years old, and I'm sitting in a Southern Baptist church, and I've got my suit on, and I'm all fancy looking, as we say, clean up nice. And I'm looking out at the crowd because I was the only youth serving in the adult choir, and everybody looked so sad to me. And I thought, why in the world do people look sad? Do they not understand that they are blessed? Do they not understand that God looks down at them and says, "That's the apple of my eye"? But we're sad. I encountered a woman on Friday. She's 32 years old. She has multiple cancers, and she has less than a week to live. She has a 10-month-old baby, and she has a 5-year-old son. And I walk into that room and I say to her, "How are you this morning?" And she said, "Blessed." I had to calm myself down for a minute because I wanted to say to her, "You don't have to say that for me. You can be honest with me." But I talked to her and I said, "You feel blessed this morning. Tell me. Tell me why you feel blessed." And she said, "I got to wake up one more morning and I got to see a picture of my baby." And she pointed at a picture that her husband had put on the wall of the little baby. She said, "I woke up this morning and I knew that I would be one day closer to getting back home," because she was going to go home later that day. "I'm blessed because I get to say goodbye to my children in our house." Blessed. A 32-year-old woman who's dying taught me such a powerful lesson. Like Jeremiah said, it's not the fact that the tree isn't given the water. It's the fact that the tree can't see the water. And I got to thinking, how many times when I go through my day, when you go through your days, that you are blessed by God, that something happens to you, and in the moment you might feel crappy. You just might not believe that God is with you. But then when you look back at it, you say, "Oh, I missed it then. I missed that lake that I was planted next to, but now I can see how blessed I am." In another part of the Gospels, Jesus says, "Those who have eyes will hear, and those who have ears will listen." I think I finally understood that, thanks to that 32-year-old woman, because she chose to see the way that she was blessed instead of the fact that she only has a short time to live. She could be lying in that bed. She could be crying her eyes out that her little child will grow out without, both of her children will grow up without their mother. But instead, she chose to realize the blessing that they had for her and that she had for them in the short time that she had left. Now, I don't mean to say, I'm not one of those people that believes that Christianity should be all smiles and laughter, and as much as I love to joke and have fun. But what I do mean to say is that even in the midst of those times, as Jesus says in the Beatitudes, even when you're hungry, because it's going to happen, even when you're tired, even when you're sick, even when you're dying, just look and I'll be there. May God give us eyes to see and ears to hear.